Welcome, I'm Reverend Jayne Coley with Yana, and today I want to talk about calling in the money. And as a result of going through COVID, the last, probably even actually 3 months before COVID, I noticed a slowdown in my real estate transactions. So I'm going to show you what I brought into form and how that flow has now shifted. And I want to share those tools that I've been using because it is not a very comfortable place when you feel fearful or anxiety around financial flow. And I am blessed to say that I had a couple of acronyms come in, and the one that I'm going to utilize today for this talk is, I call it my CIA agent. And so C being for to connect, to really connect deep inside of yourself. And the I is for to imprint, to allow yourself to hold this, as Ernest Holmes from Science of Mind talks about, the imprint, the mental equivalent. It's a mechanical, he called it, where it's just like it's written in stone. So your beliefs are wrapped around a mental equivalent. So we'll get more into that. So the I is for the imprint around your mental equivalent, how to utilize that in your favor. And the A is how to access it. Oh my gosh, we got to know how to access it. So we're going to do a meditation around accessing it. So to start off, like I mentioned, before COVID, 3 months before, I noticed this thing, but again, my life was flowing well in many areas. Went to Scotland with the family just prior, like almost right during that COVID, and we had the best trip ever. I was up in Canada back in December with the family. Again, my best trip ever since my dad's passing, and it was a real bonding, loving family connection for me at Christmas time. So I've had all these other things, but in that I thought, what is it going to do to call in the money? Because you have to have financial flow. This is about exchange. So it's about exchanging our services or our products in exchange for what we utilize on this earth plane, which is cash flow, money. And serving more people means obviously a greater flow of cash flow. And that got me thinking about substance. And when I was reading John Randolph Price the other night, and I highly recommend this, his abundance book, he also has this on a CD. And I have downloaded the CD on my phone, and I've been playing it over and over at night. And his voice is so do. The substance of my life is to, and that works really well. It's an auditory connection for me, and I program really well auditory, although visual is what I'm best at for recalling things, and that's where you put your eyes up and to the right versus looking down to the left, which would be something that would be a feeling nature, kinesthetic, or hearing. Auditory hearing works well for me for rewiring, and that's what we want to do with our mental equivalent. So the 3 points are, again, with our CIA: connect, imprint, and then to access it. So number one, with this whole idea of connect, our substance. So in John Randolph Price, he talks about substance, that the substance of God is in everything. So look around your room right now. So all this substance, my curtains, my lights, my door, the floor, all of that has the substance of God. Everything has that creative energy in it. And it's always flowing. And to me, this is extremely comforting to know that this essence of God is always with me. That creative energy, it goes with me everywhere I go. It is there with me. And when I was thinking of that, I thought about, how do I relate to that creative energy? Because how do I relate to substance? This is key, because Matt Boggs, Mary Morrissey's son, listened to him yesterday, and he goes, what he said I did before I caught myself in this pattern, somebody pointed out, is I would catastrophize around sales. He'd be like, oh my gosh, what if this person doesn't buy, and then my sales dip down, and then it's already going into the harder time of the year to sell, and then it just went on and on. That's catastrophizing. We don't need to waste that creative energy that way. And with COVID-19, I feel this anxiety, this restriction, and this desire to shrink up rather than to expand all around me. So I'm calling in the money, really calling in your expansion, calling in your flow, calling in accessing your substance, your divinity, your highest calling, which is this same thing of when Reverend Veronica was at the international conference a couple of years ago, and she met the Sikh. And the Sikh said, "It is my duty, my calling to prosper, to be wealthy." And I've thought about that over the years. And what really clicked with me when I was putting this talk together is it is a calling, because when you have plenty to share and to spare, guess what you do? You share and you spare it, because money only expands the qualities that are already in that person. So if you're a generous person, you just share even more. So what a gift. Plenty to share and to spare. And to think of it as your calling to be financially well off so that you can help so many others, so that you can work with think tank groups and have the financial resources to come forward to make the changes out there. And in that, to connect, being number one this of the CIA agent, to connect to substance, we have to really feel and know that divinity, it's already who we are. So we have to take time in our day, which I know many of you already meditate, you're already connecting with God within, you do your readings, you do your prayer work, and we have to see that we have this rich consciousness already inside of us, that it's already our calling, that it's already there to connect to substance. And once we really truly are anchored in that number one, to connect to substance, then we can move on to imprint, our mental equivalent. And Ernest Holmes talks so much about this being more like a mechanical, non-judgmental, and again, unemotional. When I think about that, I think of it as matter of fact. Matter of fact, you're already wealthy. Matter of fact, your mental equivalent is going to produce this in the law. So why not imprint what you want into the law, into this creative energy? It's just like Play-Doh. I remember Reverend Norm saying that about Play-Doh. And it is. And this, for me, John Randolph Price, by using the auditory at night, I hear him. He echoes, and we'll utilize some of the words that he uses in the latter part when we do the meditation. But here is an example. My soul is the direct expression of the mastermind I am, and the purpose of my soul is to be conscious and aware, to understand and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. That's just like click, 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 click. There's a rhythm. And it has a melody to it. And I feel calling in money has a melody to it. We have to be in the flow. We have to come from this place of expansion with plenty to share and to spare, and the desire to think past our own personal needs and to bring in the greater good for all. So some examples that I've been utilizing. If you want to bring in faster results, you want to utilize all your senses. And that would be, we just took that workshop with Jeanette and on Yana, and what she was doing was the NeuroLinguistic Programming, see it, hear it, feel it. So we'll do that as well today. And as I mentioned this, I want you to see, so you'll look up to the right. If I say feel, it'll be down to the left, and I'll prompt you, or hear, listening with your ears. What I notice is I utilize, somebody mentioned in the Power of 8 prayer group, I think it was David, mentioned about the river. And I see for Reverend Jayne this overflowing like the river. That clicked in me right now, Colorado. The rivers have run off. So they're overflowing. They're almost like this turgid, this real bubbling up of the river. You can see the overflow. So when I was out hiking yesterday, I looked down the river and I'm like, yes, I am in the flow. So utilize what you have for nature. When the train goes by and I hear it, I go, yes, my train's in, all right, I'm in the flow. And I say it out loud. And it's become such a habit of mine that I am looking for these clues. I look out at all the trees. I go, wow, look at the wealth that's everywhere. You have to notice in your own town what there is so that you start to recall and imprint that which you seek is seeking you, the mental equivalent. Another example, which we'll be doing in the exercise, is just take a moment right now and recall a couple of instances that immediately come to mind when you've had greater flow in your life. Maybe it was that you had an excellent year financially. Maybe it was an inheritance. Maybe it was a windfall and somehow you ended up just doing really well on something, or somebody shared thousands of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, maybe even $1 million, whatever it was. Take a moment and recall throughout your life. And if you're visual, you're going to be looking up to the right. When was that? When was the last time? If you're a feeling person, you're going to be looking down at the left and going, when did I remember that? We all have this. So recall. I'll just give you a moment just to bring up a couple of instances. Okay, so that's number 2. We'll be utilizing that in a minute. So our imprint, we have to actually take time to imprint, and our faith is so key in this. So our mental equivalent, what we're imprinting, is what we outpicture. It's what we believe. Whatever we have financially in our life right now, it's our outpicturing. It's what we're believing right now. But we can change that. We can just imprint that which is seeking us, which is number 3, our A, activate it. So that's what we're going to be doing, is activating the radiating God's love. It's already there. So we're going to flip the switch in your consciousness and shift your mental equivalent. So I just want you to take a moment now, take a deep breath and close your eyes and go inward. Close your eyes. And I'm just going to read this from John Randolph Price and just drop into the nothingness. Let go of everything right here and right now. My soul is the direct expression of the mastermind I am. And the purpose of my soul is to be conscious and aware, to understand and to know that the divine presence I am is the source and substance of all my good. Now think back, recall what's been imprinted in your mental equivalent of the last 2-3 times that you really were just thriving. Recall it. Look up to the right. See it. Yes. Oh, yes. I remember when that dropped into my bank account, whatever amount it was. Oh, yeah. There it is. Oh, I can feel it. Oh, it felt so good. You're looking down to the left. I feel when that was right there. There it was. That chunk of money. I want you to, as though you could hear it. Oh my gosh, what was the melody that played in your sound chamber within yourself, in your soul? Just that comfort. Go deeper, look deeper inside. See it, feel it, hear it. Listen. Overflowing amounts of money. Activate that God consciousness, how it is your calling, how it has came to you before, how you're going to recall it right here and right now. Letting the mind be in this. It's mechanical. Yes, this is your mental equivalent. Yes, you have done this before. It is the mastermind that you already are. Now, I want you to think of right now. Just allow yourself to breathe in the love of God, the expansion of God, the beauty of God, the richness of who you already are. And in that place, anchor your own CIA agent. Connect to that substance. Imprint from your mental equivalent, this powerful, how you've already done this before. It's who you are. And activate it, taking time for you. And then just slowly open your eyes. Feel that radiance. That's activation. That's God. Thank you. I love you. Have a blessed day.